to Mental Fitness at Your Desk, a brand new live session series by Nia, designed to help you tackle life's challenges with more confidence and calm. My name is Noreen Chaudhary, and I'm a licensed clinical psychologist. We are excited to have you here today. In each session, we'll guide you through exercises rooted in evidence based practices to help you build resilience and maintain mental well being. Whether you're dealing with stress, anxiety, or just looking to enhance your mental strength, these sessions are here to support you. Today, we're diving into a topic that I think quietly affects us all but rarely gets the spotlight it deserves: comparison fatigue. Comparison fatigue happens when we get so caught up in comparing ourselves to others that we feel mentally and emotionally worn out. This can happen when we are scrolling through social media, looking at other people's career progress, their relationships, their travel photos, their health routines, you name it. And I think a lot of us can relate to the feeling of never quite measuring up or feeling behind in some way. Today, I want to explore why this happens, how it sneaks into our lives, and most importantly, how we can break free from it. Let's understand by looking at the nature of comparison. Why comparison is such a natural part of human behavior. This goes way back to what's called social comparison theory. Humans are wired to look around and gauge where we stand. Historically, this helped us survive. Seeing others hunt or build shelters more effectively gave us cues on how we could improve. In small groups, this kept us learning and evolving. But now, in a hyper connected world, our small group has turned into millions of people at our fingertips. We're no longer comparing ourselves to a handful of people, we're comparing ourselves to thousands, even millions, many of whom are only sharing the best part of their lives. Take social media for an example. You might log on for a quick scroll, but what you end up seeing is a friend's vacation in Greece, a celebrity's glamorous lifestyle, someone's hashtag relationship goals post, and another person's fitness transformation. And even if you don't consciously think, I need to do that too, your brain registers those images and starts building pressure in subtle ways. It's it's as if we are stacking expectations on top of each other, one after another. You may not feel an immediate hit, but over time, all those comparisons build up until you're left feeling drained, like there's this invisible checklist you're constantly trying to complete. Let's recognize the sign. Let's look at few examples on what comparison fatigue can look like in everyday life. Imagine you're scrolling through LinkedIn and you see a former college classmate who just landed a big promotion. You're happy for them, but sure, but a part of you wonders, why am I not there yet? Did I make a wrong career move? Over time, these questions build up, and suddenly your own job feels inadequate. The irony is that you might have been perfectly content with your job until you saw the post. Or let's say you're browsing Instagram and you come across fitness influencers who look perfectly toned. It can make you hyper aware of your own body, leading to an urge to go on a crash diet or sign up for an intense workout program. You might not even want to do these things, but the comparison plants a seed of dissatisfaction, and that dissatisfaction drains you over time. Even friendships and relationships aren't immune. You might see photos of a friend on a romantic anniversary trip or a couple posting cute captions, and suddenly your own relationship feels like it's lacking. You start to wonder if you're missing out or if there's something wrong with you. even if your relationship was fine before you saw those posts. All of these little comparisons pile up, they take a toll on you. That's what comparison fatigue is. It's the accumulation of these seemingly small comparisons that wear you down over time until you're left feeling unmotivated, anxious, or even plain exhausted. Let's look at why we compare. Why do we compare even when we know it makes us feel bad? One of the biggest reasons is fear of missing out or FOMO. FOMO is an incredibly powerful feeling. It's that little voice that whispers, if you don't do this, you're going to regret it. You're falling behind. It tells us that if we are not on the top of every trend, every achievement, or every opportunity, we are somehow losing out. Let me give you a real life example. Say you're say you're in your late 20s and you see posts about people getting married, buying houses, having kids, thriving in their careers. Even if you're content with where you are, FOMO can creep in. You might start to feel pressure of each of you might start to feel the pressure to reach each of these milestones, not because you want to, just because you feel like you should do it. And that disconnect can be exhausting, leaving you feeling conflicted and emotionally drained. Another reason we compare is our brain's natural desire to set benchmarks. Imagine you're at work and you overhear a coworker talking about how they've achieved a certain sales goal or completed a project early. Your brain registers that as a benchmark, something to measure yourself against. And even if that coworker's job or skills are completely different from yours, that benchmark is still there, quietly reminding you that someone else is ahead in some way. So, if we can't completely stop comparing ourselves, what can we do to manage comparison fatigue? Let's look at some strategies and examples and how to apply them in your daily lives. Number one is limit your time on social media. One of the most effective ways to reduce comparison fatigue is to limit how much time you spend on social media. I know this one can be tough, especially if it's a habit, but setting some boundaries can go a long way. You might decide, for example, to check Instagram only once a day or turn off notifications so you're not constantly being reminded to log on. In fact, some people find that taking a social media detox for a week or even few days can make them feel significantly better. Consider someone who usually checks Facebook every morning. During a detox, they might swap that habit with reading a book or listening to a podcast, something that doesn't invite comparison. By the end of the week, they might notice they're feeling more grounded, more present, less preoccupied with what others are doing. Number two, reframe your mindset. Instead of seeing someone else's success as a benchmark, try seeing it as an inspiration. This doesn't mean you have to do what they are doing, but it shifts your thinking from I am not enough to that's possible and I'm on my own path. For instance, if you see someone sharing their fitness journey, instead of feeling like you should be doing the same, you might acknowledge their hard work without comparing it to your own goals. Think, good for them. I'm happy with my own pace. Number three is focusing on self affirmations and gratitude. Write down things you're proud of or grateful for, even small things. If you landed a new client at work or spent quality time with family, that's something worth celebrating. It's a reminder that your achievements and moments of happiness are valid, even if they don't get hundreds of likes online. One example is a gratitude journal. Every morning, you might write down three things you're grateful for. Over time, this can help shift your focus from what others have to good things you already possess. It can be as simple as I'm grateful for my friend who checked on me today, or I'm proud that I cooked a healthy meal for myself. Number four, set your own goals and celebrate small wins. One of the best ways to escape the comparison trap is to focus on what you want, not what others are doing. Set personal goals that matters to you. If you're working on a skill like learning a language or building your endurance at the gym, celebrate each small win. For example, if you're working on your fitness and manage to run a mile without stopping, take a moment to acknowledge that progress instead of comparing yourself to someone who's running marathons. Number five, cultivate self compassion. Now, self compassion is about being kind to yourself when you fall into comparison trap. Maybe you had a rough day and you found yourself scrolling for too long and feeling envious of a friend's promotion. Instead of beating yourself up, remind yourself that it's okay. Comparison is human. Accept it, forgive yourself, and move forward. Imagine this scenario. You're trying to learn a new skill, like photography, and follow several photographers on Instagram. Some days it's easy to feel discouraged because they are more skilled and their work seems flawless. Instead of letting that fatigue build up, remind yourself that they were once beginners too. With self compassion, you give yourself permission to grow at your own pace. Ultimately, the comparison fatigue reminds us that life isn't competition. The only person we truly need to measure up is ourselves. By learning to set boundaries, practicing gratitude, and acknowledging our unique journeys, we can take back our mental space and focus on what really matters to us. Remember, we're all different at different stages in our lives, facing different challenges and celebrating different wins. Just because someone else has achieved something doesn't mean you're behind. You're on your own path and the journey is valid, even if it looks different from everyone else. Thank you for tuning in today. And remember, the next time you find yourself slipping into comparison trap, take a deep breath and give yourself a little grace. You're doing just fine. Until next time, keep looking beyond the horizon. Thank you.